Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mom Howdy Bella, and welcome to another vlog. I am having a bit of a late start today. It's almost, I think, almost 8:30, and I haven't done much. As you can see behind me, even the curtains are still closed. But I did a little bit of changing up in my house room, which you'll see just now. But I thought today's video, let's just talk about the mess that comes with decorating my home. One of the things that I love besides decorating is organizing. So, with the amount of stuff that we buy when it comes to decorating the home and keeping your house looking clean with all of those things, it's becoming impossible to manage. So I thought today, let's talk about decluttering. How do I manage all of these, or how am I trying to manage all of the stuff that I buy in my home, considering that I don't have much space in this house? And yeah, and I want to have it organized all the time, and it's becoming more and more impossible. But I've been thinking about it, and I thought let's chat about it, and then I'll share with you some of the tricks and tips that I think will help me to keep my home organized while I'm going through this phase that I'm enjoying of organizing my home. So let's get into the video. But earlier on, I went in my house room and I changed it up. But before I did that, I started by ironing her sheet. And in my previous videos, I promised you guys how that I'm going to show you how to fold clothes so that you have an organized space. One of the things that you cannot have is an organized closet when you don't know how to fold your clothes properly. Well, you can, I suppose. But for me, the best thing that helps me have an organized closet is how I fold my clothes. So the one thing that I wanted to show you today how to fold and also iron is a fitted sheet. I'm going to show you the easiest way to get your fitted sheet ironed and folded in like 5 seconds. So just hold over there and then I'm going to show you. I hope my microphone is going to pick up the sound. So this is my house sheet. So if you have your corners of your sheet, we can do this even with a bigger sheet. So you basically have the two corners. I like to start with the top uh, corners because they are smaller than, going this way. So I start with the top where you take the two corners, join them together like that. So you basically have this, and then you do the same at the bottom. You can let this go, it's not gonna fall apart. And then you do the same at the top. And once you have this corner the same way as the bottom, what you do is you take the two corners, right? You put them together like that and you flip it over. So you have all the four corners on one side. So you basically bring this part together, right? And then this is how your sheet looks like. Even before you iron it, it's already looking like it's manageable. So I'm gonna show you on the ironing board how I iron the sheet once I folded it like this. So on my ironing board, what I'm going to do is put these four corners together, and they just help you align everything. And then the other four corners are in here. These are the corners that goes over your bed at the corners. So I like to start with this corner because it makes things easier. So you just put that over your ironing board like that. My ironing board is small. I need to get a bigger ironing board actually. So you just have it like that. And then you start ironing from this corner. So I'm ironing about 4 layers of fabric at the same time. I'm using a steam iron on maximum steam because this is a cotton fabric. And then I just go like that up until I get to the end. So you're just going to go around ironing and shifting the fabric as you go along. And for those of you who have asked about my iron is a Genesis iron from Verimac. I think it's called the Jetmaster. I've had this iron for a while. at some point it stopped working, so I just put it in the cupboard. And then I think after a year that it was not working, I plugged it in one day when my other iron decided to die and it started working again. So it worked quite well for 2 years until it broke down, and then I put it away. And after having it fixed, it broke again. And then after it broke again, I never used it up until I decided to test it when my other iron broke. So it is a good iron if you don't encounter those type of problems. But I think you can get an extended guarantee or warranty on it, which I really don't recommend. If you are going to pay extra for a warranty for an iron that costs you 1,000, you might as well just save up the money and pay to buy a new iron. So what I also like to do is to flip the sheet and iron on the other side. That way you get both sides of the fabric ironed, and that makes sure that the middle part of your sheet also gets enough steam for it to be looking good. Once you have your entire sheet ironed on all sides, folding it becomes so easy. So you just lay it flat like that, and then line up this corner over here. You take this one and you do like your envelope fold over here. You come in like that. So basically it becomes a little square or rectangle, depending on how you want to fold it. I like to have mine folded in this fashion. And that's it. Or you can do this, depending on how you want it folded. So now let's talk about how do I continue to decorate my home and have it looking good, and also keep it organized with the amount of stuff that gets bought when it comes to decorating. So the first thing that I wanted to look at was refining my palette in my home. And when it comes to that, I wanted to focus both on the color and also on the style. For me, I love different styles, and I can find beauty in every style that it is out there. Like I can look at a different decor style and find something that I love about it. And I used to find it challenging to decorate my house without going crazy, because I wanted to try every style that I found beautiful. That meant that when I tried to add new pieces in my house, it did not work unless I got many other things to go with that piece that will complement it. So by deciding to pick one or two different styles that are going to be dominant in my home, it allowed me to focus the palette that I have color-wise and also style-wise. So it took a little bit of time for me to accept that, you know what, I cannot have all the different styles in my home. I have to have maybe two main styles that I focus on in my home, especially my Joburg home, in order for me to make it easier for myself when I shop for pieces for my home, without buying a lot of stuff that will cause me to spend more money on decorating stuff. And it also makes it easier to eliminate the stuff that you do not want to buy for your home, not because you don't like them, but because they do not fall within the style that you have decided to focus on in your home. Take my house room for example. When I went shopping for her bedding, I already had determined what style I had gone for in this room when I did the makeover. So when it comes to the bedding, I had to focus on the color scheme that I chose in the room. The main colors that I have in this room is beige, gray, and yellow. So it's easier for me to add pieces in that color, and I can maybe add extra colors that will complement that without over deviating from the scheme. So it makes it easier when you go into the store. And when I picked this bedding, that's why I knew that it was definitely going to work, because of the color scheme that I had picked, and it just goes very well with everything. Even though you might deviate and add a little bit of an extra color that complements the scheme, it is so much easier when you go in there and you know that in this room I'm going to focus on these two different colors or three different colors, and they are going to be the pieces that I buy when I go to a store. Another thing that I wanted to focus on in my home was to create a neutral base. Unless you're going for an eclectic style, a neutral base allows you to add new decor pieces again in your home without the need to change up a lot of things. Focusing on the main things like couches, walls, curtains, the big pieces that take up a lot of space in your home. Keeping these things neutral will allow you to add small decor pieces without changing up a lot. Allow the addition of pattern and accent colors to come in through your decor pieces like your artwork, your cushions, and your accent pieces of furnitures like your accent chairs and those type of things. And it makes life so much easier for you when you decorate. And I mean, if you love an eclectic style, yes, you can mix patterns, you can mix colors, but it is so much difficult because you have to take all of those things into consideration when you go shopping, how all the other pieces are going to work together. Things like adding a bold rug. A rug is a significant piece in your home, but if you have a neutral base, then you can add a bold rug in your home, and that will add a lot of character in your space. But then it will also dictate on all the other things that you add in your home. So if you have a neutral rug, then it makes it easier when you change up your cushions, when you change up the color schemes, to be able to buy things without stressing too much. But even a bold rug, it still does work because what you can do is you can add pieces that complement the rug, and while you're keeping everything neutral in your home. Something I had to do in my home was to change my accent chairs that I had in my living room. I used to have blue chairs that had like a bold print at the back, but because I love to change up my scatter cushions and other things in my home, it just meant that the pattern sometimes felt a little bit too busy, and there were times when I felt a little bit overwhelmed depending on my mood by all the different patterns. But I still love bold patterns, but I decided that I'm going to use the bold patterns to come in through my accent cushions. I'm going to use bold patterns to come through other things in my home and not the major pieces that everybody can see, especially because my living room downstairs is open plan. Upstairs in the bedroom, I think I can go as crazy as I want because the spaces are contained. But downstairs, because it's an open space, I have to consider all the three rooms, my living room, my dining room, and my kitchen, all as one space. And all the colors need to complement one another. Now, let's talk about editing your home. From time to time, you have to take a moment to go through your home and look at any of the decor pieces that you have that no longer fits your style, and you have to let them go. As we grow older, our style evolves and we discover new things that no longer fits our new taste. And look at how you can upcycle those pieces, if possible, by either painting them or repurposing them in a different way. And if not, then you just have to accept that they no longer fit where you are stylistically and just let them go. And that way you don't end up with a mountain of clutter in your home. When it comes to editing your home, there are times when you outgrow your style or you just have a change in what you like. And there are things that you no longer use in your house. There are things that no longer fit your current style as your style evolves. And I think it's normal and it's natural for your style to evolve over time. But what we tend to do is keep all the stuff that represent who we were stylistically in the past than who we are in the present. Case in point, all the silver stuff that I have in my home. I feel so bad. I also still have a tray over here. And to be honest, it's not even that this stuff is ugly. It doesn't go with the decor that I have in my home and also my style per se. I wish I could change them to a different color, a different texture. So you can consider things like either upcycling them or changing them into a different color, respraying or painting, and also consider using them in a different way. Take this pot, for instance. It's a decorative pot as it is, but if I wanted to, I could use it as a vase and put my flowers in there and not use the lid. Think about different ways of how you can use what you have currently, or think of ways that you can upcycle it or get rid of it altogether if it does not fit the style that you have in your home and you do not think that it's stuff that you're going to use up later. So stuff like this I can find a use for it, but things like this, I really don't see myself using this again. So this is one of the things that I will be getting rid of. And this also doesn't really fit my style, but I feel bad getting rid of it. I mean, this we bought it from Choreographed a long time ago. And actually, all of the stuff are from Choreographed to think about it. These metal balls, I don't know what you call it, some thing here, but I think these can be used, somewhere on your shelf if you want to have like a decorative thing on the side. You can use stuff like this. You can respray it, you can repaint it, and I don't know. I feel bad throwing them away, so I'm trying to think about how I can reuse these things in my home. So I'm hoping that I will find a solution because I feel bad. They take up too much space in my cupboards and they're not really being used. These type of things, I don't even remember the last time I used them. At least this was sitting in my guest bedroom. This, from time to time, I do put my fruits in it, and yeah, it's a challenge, but we try and find ways to make it better and make this stuff useful in our home. One other thing that I am doing to manage the clutter while enjoying decorating my home is to shop with intention. When I go to the stores, I make sure that I have a plan and I am looking for specific items for my home. Going to the store without a plan or a specific item that you're looking for can be a recipe for disaster. Unless you are able to get in a store and browse and honestly identify how a certain item will be used in your home, you are most likely going to end up bringing items that you do not want or items that do not go with your style or the style that you have in your home, which will lead you to having items that you do not want in your home and lead you to accumulating clutter. And which leads us to the fifth and final point. Just because you love it, you don't have to bring it home. Allow yourself to love things from a distance. It is okay to window shop and to love things, but bringing everything that you love in your home will make your home very cluttered, will make your style very uncohesive. If you want things to feel like they are thought through and well planned, you cannot just buy anything and everything that you like. You have to put a lot of thought and planning into the stuff that you bring into your home. It's so dry. I forget to water it because it is in my guest room. But look at how dry it is. You can't even get your finger in there. So I just need to go and water it right now. But yeah, it is a very, very forgiving plant if you just keep it in a cold spot. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I know it's a little bit of a different one, but I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I am about Mama Haudipela, and I hope to see you all very soon in another one. Bye-bye.